You find yourself sitting at your desk scrolling instead of starting, or rewriting your to-do list instead of doing the task, or telling yourself you'll do it later, even though later never comes. These aren't time management problems, they're avoidance problems. Nothing gets in the way of achieving your potential more than habits like these. And procrastination is something we can get stuck doing even while knowing it's hurting us and genuinely wanting to change. So in this video, I'm going to break down how we misunderstand what procrastination really is, and I'll teach you 3 psychologically grounded strategies to help you shift into action rather than avoidance. So let's jump right in. Here's what most people get wrong. We assume procrastination is about laziness or a lack of discipline. We believe that if we just had more willpower, we would get the thing done. But procrastination is much more complicated than that. Human behavior is shaped by consequences. We repeat behaviors that pay off, and avoiding a task that you don't want to do offers something very real in the short term, and that's relief. We don't just avoid the task, we avoid the discomfort that thinking about the task produces. And that short-term relief reinforces our avoidance, making procrastination more likely to happen in the future. So strategy number 1 is to address the emotional discomfort. You need to deal with the emotional baggage attached to the task that you're avoiding. If writing the email suddenly makes you feel tense, if thinking about starting makes you feel immediately tired, or if you tell yourself you'll do it later because you need to do it right, this is the exact moment to tune in, not tune out. If you understand why a task feels overwhelming or unpleasant, you can choose a solution that actually works. And sometimes the task feels overwhelming because it's just too large. You're thinking about how long it will take, the hours, days, or even weeks, and your nervous system shifts into freeze because this feels like a threat. Avoidance feels safer than action. Another common block is fear of a bad outcome. You might worry about failing, embarrassing yourself, or feeling judged. And often this leads to setting unrealistically high standards that make starting feel impossible. Tackling this fear means challenging your assumptions, easing your standards, or accepting that discomfort does not automatically mean something bad will happen. Strategy 2 is to fit the task into a time restriction. This is the key strategy that actually changes how you feel about the task and increases the likelihood that you'll start. Instead of focusing on what you have to do, focus on how much time you're willing to give. If working for 3 hours feels impossible, what is possible? 1 hour? 30 minutes? 10 minutes? This works because a time commitment reduces the emotional threat. You're no longer deciding whether to do the task, you're deciding how long you're willing to feel uncomfortable. There is no amount of time that is too small. The goal is not completion, the goal is initiation. Instead of working for outcomes, shift to working for time. The first step is usually the hardest, and once you've started something, leaving it unfinished actually makes it easier to return to later than starting from scratch. Figure out how much time you're willing to work and then shape the task to fit that window. The biggest mistake procrastinators make is waiting to feel motivated before starting. Now, this feels intuitive. You've done many things because you felt motivated to do them. But the problem is that we don't have direct control over motivation. Just like we can't choose how we feel in a given moment. Here's the truth about motivation. It is not a precursor to action. It is the result of it. You can't depend on motivation to show up when you need it. You earn motivation through action and reinforcement, and both require taking the first step. Now here's something practical you can do. Identify the very first action and then plan exactly how you'll do it. Now that might mean opening the document and saving it. It might mean clearing your desk or writing a list of everything that you're avoiding and choosing the single most important item to address right now. This works for two reasons. First, it narrows your focus, which immediately lowers anxiety. Second, once you gain momentum, you experience a sense of progress, and that internal feedback is what creates motivation. Overcoming procrastination doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't require changing who you are. By shifting your expectations, challenging assumptions, making small time-based commitments, and narrowing your focus, you can use the same psychology that keeps you stuck to move yourself forward. And once you start doing these things, they get easier over time. Now, most people stay stuck because they don't have a clear system for planning and organizing their time. They rely on vague plans and fail to estimate how they'll actually feel in the future, which often leads right back to avoidance. If you want a simple time management system that you can start using today, check out this video right here. And if you found this useful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.